Why pay for charging when you can just charge yourself? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Please ignore all the sweat. It's a hot one out here today. I've just been sweeping out my garage and making room for some stuff. But I've got something I wanted to talk to you guys about that is the number one thing that I recommend if you're going to buy a Tesla or any EV. All right, I'm going to just cut to the chase here. The number one thing that you need if you're going to buy a Tesla or any EV for that matter is a place to charge the vehicle. Now that doesn't mean you have to charge it at your house. The charging at home is just an added convenience, and it does make life a lot easier. You can plug it in, even if you have a 110 outlet and you don't have one of these higher speed chargers. You just plug it in overnight and you have charge in the battery for the next day that you could, if you really needed to fill it up, you could go to a supercharger at that point, but at least you'll have charge in your battery the next day. So charging at home is definitely a convenient place to charge. Another place that I do a lot of my charging at is I'm very lucky and blessed that I work at an office building, and in the parking lot they have free charging to employees. So I just go to work, plug in my car, work my shift, come out, unplug it, and I'm good to go. But let's say you don't have either one of those things. Maybe you live in an apartment building or your office doesn't have free charging or any kind of charging, then you need to look around your area, and I swear you'll start seeing charging stations all over the place, whether it's at shopping malls, shopping center parking lots, you name it. You haven't noticed them before because you haven't been looking for them, but once you have EVs on your mind, you'll start seeing them everywhere. If you have a Tesla, then the map on the center screen will show you where other third-party chargers are in conjunction with the supercharging network. You can also download apps to your smartphone, apps like PlugShare and Charge Hub. Those are two really good ones to use. Of course, all the other networks have their own apps as well, like ChargePoint, EVgo, Electrify America. Whichever one is convenient for you, and what you'll need to do is basically just drive around your area, find one that looks like it's one that you go to all the time, like at a shopping mall or someplace that you frequent, and download the app to that network, whichever brand that is. Or you can do like me and just download them all. They're all on my smartphone. If I ever just run into one somewhere, I have it there with me. And I also went ahead and went on their websites and pre-signed up for whatever free accounts that they have. Sometimes they just want to have you on file. So if I was out in the middle of nowhere and I found a place, I could finally charge, but what if it doesn't let you charge because you're not signed up with them? So I went ahead and signed up with most of the third parties, and I've got an app that I can use now. So whether I ever use them or not, it's there. And of course, this is what I'm using at home. It is the Tesla second generation of wall charger. And I'm charging right now. This is a loaner car. My car is currently in the shop. If you've watched the last two videos on the channel, you know the whole story going on with that. And it's, by the way, not getting any better. They've had the car for exactly a week now, and the problem's still not resolved. So I'll give you guys updates on that as soon as I get more information. But as you can see, I'm charging here on the Tesla charger, and this works out great because I can come to a complete charge within like 4 hours, 5 hours, something like that. Depends on how depleted my battery is. On average though, just because I don't run my battery down a whole lot, I charge for maybe 2 or 3 hours and it's topped off. So that is the main way that I would prefer charging. As you can see, this charger is just mounted to the wall and it's hardwired in. I don't have any other plugs connecting to an outlet anywhere. I've just got the electricity running through a pipe behind the wall and into this box directly. But what if I got a second EV and I wanted to charge it as well? Do I want to get another one of these, or do I want to go with a third party? So eventually my wife is also going to get an EV. We aren't sure exactly which one yet. We do like Tesla a whole lot though, so fingers crossed it might be another Tesla. But just in case it's not, we thought about maybe expanding our garage outlets to where we could use a third-party charger in case we do have another EV that's not a Tesla. We have a place to charge it as well. Now there are a lot of third-party wall chargers to be found online. Some are some names you've heard before like ChargePoint, but there's another one that just came out called a Wallbox. They have one called a Pulsar Plus. They sell them at EV Annex, this company right here. This is a quality company. I trust those guys. Take a look at that Wallbox because it looks very interesting too. And it is generic. It's not just Teslas that it charges. But if I was to go with something like that, then I would need an adapter to put on the J1772 that comes with any third-party wall charger, and it just adapts to the Tesla plug-in. So that brings me to my first product I want to talk to you guys about. I was contacted by a company called Lectron. Now, at first I was like, it sounds familiar, but I don't really know who Lectron is. Turns out that they are owned by a company called Wasserstein. Now that is a company I am very familiar with, and let me show you why. So a few months ago, installed video surveillance cameras around the house, and these are made by Eufy. They just have the best reviews online, and this one's a 2K resolution. It's got color night vision. It's got a spotlight at night. It's great. It's everything I want. The problem with these is they usually have a battery in it that you need to recharge every 6 months to a year, depending on which model you get, unless you attach it to a solar panel, which I have here. So this solar panel I bought on Amazon, and it's made by Wasserstein. So I've got a couple of these, like 3 or 4 of these. Got one around here as well. So this one's shining on the front door of the house. There's also a solar panel powering it. I never will have to ever change the battery on these things as long as the solar panels are working properly, and yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So that's Wasserstein. Wasserstein owns Lectron, and Lectron contacted me because they saw a previous video of mine where I was talking about charging at home, and they liked it a lot, and they wanted to send me a couple things to kind of show what they have to offer in that space as well. So the first thing that they have is a J1772 adapter for your Tesla. This is what it looks like. Now, if this looks familiar, it's because you get one of these when you buy a Tesla. It comes from Tesla, from the factory, with one of these adapters. So let me just take it out. And yes, it looks almost identical to the one I've got from Tesla. So just to show you the difference, this is the new one from Lectron, and this is the old one from Tesla. They are identical in every way. As you can see, the only difference is the Tesla one has a sticker that's got like the serial number or the part number. Yeah, part and serial number on it. This one has its own little stamping there. But why would I need this? So why I would need this is if I did have a third-party charger like that Wallbox, I could keep this connected to the cable at all times and keep my other one as an emergency for use in the car. And I use this a lot because at work they have a ChargePoint charger, and I have to have an adapter to use it. So I keep mine in the car with me at all times so I can use it when I'm out on the go. And if I get a third-party wall charger, which I'm looking into, then I'm going to be using one of these. Just keep it connected to the cable at all times, and that way I can just unplug it from the wall and stick it in the car, and I'm good to go. So the second thing that Lectron sent me was a wall charger mount. so you can hang your wall charger when you are not using it. So if you just take a look here, it's got instructions on how to install it, pretty basic stuff here. So I'm gonna hang this on my wall. That way I can use my charge cable that came with the car and just let it hang there. So I've already got one wall charger on one side of the wall. I think what I'm going to do is go around to this side over here and put one in the corner right over here. So this mount does come with anchors for your drywall if you want to go straight into there, but if you want extra security to make sure that it stays on the wall and it doesn't rip out with the weight that you put on it, then you want to find a 2x4 behind the drywall to secure it to. So if you don't have a stud finder, just an easy way, just find a screwdriver with somewhat of a heavy handle so you can tap on the wall until you hear it echo and listen for the dead spots. All right, so listen here. You hear it more boomy here, and then sounds kind of dead right there, and more hollow here. So the hollow part is sounding that way because it is hollow behind there, and the more dead spot is not resonating because there's a 2x4 behind here. So this is where I'm going to be drilling into right here. Now, if you're a bit OCD like me, you'll want to take a level and just make sure it's level before you drill that second screw into the wall. And the next step is just to mount the mount. It's got little rails on the side here that slide into the grooves like that. So you just take this, slide it on, and that son of a Bitcoin ain't going nowhere. All right, so how am I going to be using this right now? I'll show you. I've got my mobile charger right here, and it's just got a regular standard outlet here for your 110 power. I do have an outlet down here, so I'll be using this. Now, if you are an electrician or know an electrician or have money to pay an electrician, you can remove this because that's going to give you the slowest charge with the 110 outlet. You can remove that and install a NEMA 1450. That will give you speeds close to this, not quite as fast as this. This is the fastest you can buy for home charging, but a NEMA 1450 will give you almost as fast power, and it's more universal because you can connect any kind of charger to it. So if you've got a NEMA 1450 outlet, you can just pull this out and plug in an adapter, which I've got one right here that I use if I ever go on a trip and I find a NEMA 1450 outlet somewhere. This plugs into this right here, and that's what a NEMA 1450 looks like. So this is just one example of how you can use it. You can keep your wall charger charged in. And as you see, it's lit up there. That tells you that it's working. So it's all green. You leave it there. You can drape your cable around here. So there you have it. That is my #1 recommendation if you're planning on buying a Tesla or any EV for that matter. You need to find a place that you can charge it. Someplace that's reliable, that you can go to every time and just plug in and go. Now ideally, you want to be able to plug it in and leave it there for several hours. Someplace like your home or your work, someplace that you're going to be at for a while. It's great seeing these places now showing up in movie theater parking lots, grocery store parking lots, someplace you're going to be spending maybe an hour or more anyways. That's a great place to look for chargers. So I'm really excited about the future, guys. I know that this is just the dawn of electric vehicles and charging networks, but I'm really excited. If you really think about it, what is more likely? Is it more likely that you're going to learn how to make gasoline from digging up in your yard and making it yourself and refining it and then turning it into a gasoline that you can put in your car? Or is it more likely that you're going to be able to put a solar panel on your roof, produce your own electricity, and charge your car that way? I think it's a no-brainer, guys. EVs are the future for sure. This is the way to go, and I recommend you look at upgrading whatever you need to in your house. That way you'll have the power when you need it, and you'll be able to charge at a pretty decent time frame. So that's it for today's video, guys. Let me know what you think. Put your comments down below. What options are you using to charge? Do you have your own home charging system somewhere, or do you use a charger at work, or do you just go find a local charger somewhere? Let me know. Also, are there any must-have apps that you use to find charging networks? Put that in the comments below as well. And as always, guys, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys real soon. I will be updating you guys on how my car is doing right now. It's still in the service shop. It's been a week. There's a lot of interesting things going on with it. It'll be quite the video, so stay tuned for that as well. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.